Today I'm joined by Margy Henderson, who is an end-of-life midwife. She also does singing with people who are dying and sometimes even babies that have just been born. She specializes in home funerals, green burials, and so much more. It's an amazing woman we've got with us today. That brings us to the part of this that's very interesting to me, which is I've been with people who, friends of people, mothers of friends who have been declining, and I've felt the energy change in the room even before they've drawn their last breath, sort of the dying moment, you might want to call it. But I've never been with someone as they've actually, quote, been pronounced dead. And I wonder what your experiences are like that you've had when that's been going on that you could share with us today.
There is in that declining time, there are so many losses that are occurring for that person that are often gone unacknowledged. So the energy that you're experiencing as Veronica, who's always been rather psychic, I'm curious about what you experience yourself. But for me, because I'm not psychic, what I see is generally a sense of a helplessness, a grief for the things that person cannot do anymore physically or socially. And that during that time of decline, whether it's even for months before a person actually dies, the death midwife or the spiritual support of that person can be noticing how to be supportive of the grief for all of those losses, to be supportive for the new things that the person needs now that they didn't need before. For instance, more rest, quiet, a different kind of conversation, different kinds of food. And that kind of presence or attentiveness grows over time so that the person who is tending the person who is dying is able to slow themselves down as well, not be bustling about with the doing, but to watch the breathing, watch the face when a person is no longer able to speak. That time that we've spent very attentive while they were still in their capacities teaches us what they are likely experiencing by their grimace, by their rapid breathing, and we're able to be more just energetically supportive. The songs that I sing change. Earlier I might have sung a song with words, something that relates to their interest, and when it gets closer to death, I might not use words at all. I might not use even rhythm or melody, but just toning, maybe using a singing bowl, noticing when the lips are dry, or the swallowing is difficult, or the breathing changes. And that attention, that presence is felt by that person. So if I'm at the end of the bed having a chit-chat with a family member, the person might be feeling very alone in the changes that they're going through. But when we're really present with them, we see that there is a sort of a letting go. And of course, many people in that very last time report that they are seeing dead relatives, visit people who are already crossed over and yet appear to be as in the room as their physical guest. One woman said to a friend that was visiting her, "Oh, I don't think you've met my mother."
And the mother had already passed on?
Yes.
Wow. Really? That's amazing that it would be so real for the person who's in decline that they would even imagine that the others in the room were experiencing what they were experiencing. That's extraordinarily powerful. Do the family members get a lot of comfort in that they see that their declining relative is seeing relatives that have already passed, does that give them comfort that the continuance is a real thing after the body dies?
If they are open to that, and sensitive, yes, it does give very much comfort, especially after the death. Sometimes people are relating that to a schizophrenic hallucination and try to talk the person out of it. No, they're not here. They've been dead a long time. Rather than sitting in that experience that they're having, which is probably very comforting to their own soul, that is traveling the dimensions before they actually take their last breath.
You've been listening to the Awakening Zone Radio Network, offering insights and inspiration for our evolving consciousness.